Twisted 3C today. We're going to learn how to tie these self-defense keychains. So we're going to do one with the monkey's fist and one with the Turk's head. The one with the Turk's head, I use a hematite, so it's magnetic. The one with the monkey's fist has a steel ball inside of it. So get your stuff together and let's start tying. Alright, so for this, we're going to need, of course, our paracord. I've got here 2 lengths of my 2 colors in the 550. These are about 10 feet long each. I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to stay with the yellow and black. Normally I choose one highlight color to bring this out, but because of the colors, I'm going to do the yellow and the black on this particular keychain. So half of the highlight area will be in this 275 yellow, the other half will be in this 275 black. My knotter's bid, my 12-inch, so 1/4 inch by 12-inch steel rod. Lighter, scissors, pliers, something to tie around. This is a 1-inch hematite. I use either a hematite or a steely. When I do this, I'm going to show you 2 different ways. I'm going to show you with the monkey's fist. I'll tie that first. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you this one I'm actually doing with a Turk's head around this. And so this stands out really well. Plus it's also magnetic. It's kind of cool. Hematite. Of course, some sort of clasp. I like these lobster claws like this. 2 rubber bands for the. All right, so we're going to do a Turk's head. When I do these, I just take my 3 fingers like this, lay my cord in there, come around like that. Okay. Back over here, cross it over. Right here, we're going to go down underneath this one. And over that one. Okay, now these we're going to cross them. So this one right here, as this goes over it right here, it's going to go over this one right there. Okay, we're going to take our cord. We're going to come up in the center right there. Okay. Now, come across right here, back around to the front, underneath this one, and we're going over that one. Okay. So that's our Turk's head. All I'm going to do is double this up once. So I'm just going to come through this. Just follow that around. Should stay on the right side there. Okay. Now normally, you go underneath here, and you'd come up right here, in between those, and then you'd start a third pass on your Turk's head right there. What I'm going to do with this one is just come all the way underneath, like that, and pull that through. Okay, now I need to tighten this up because this is really way too big there. Okay. So what I want, where this joint in my cord is, I actually want that to be underneath right here. So I'm going to take that and pull this one back like that. And now I'm going to pinch that. And then I'm just going to tighten this as I pull this black one back. Shows these on its proper side. Okay. So this is where our joint between our two cords is right here. I'm going to take that yellow one from that point. And I'm just going to slowly pull that through. See, I've still got a ways to go to tighten this down. So I'm going to keep working on this until I get it to where my hematite's going to stay in there. And then all right, so I got that snug down real good on my fingers. Now you can see, if I slip that in, I can keep it in place as I tighten these down now. So I'm going to use my knotter's bit here. This is my point where my two cords come in together. My yellow and my black hook right here together. So hold that with my thumb, come over here, got a little bit of a pull. This is the hardest part of this, is keeping this centered over whatever you're using here. Your steely, your wood ball, this hematite. So these 1-inch hematites, I get these off eBay. I've tried ordering, getting them off Amazon, and every time I order 1-inch hematites, they come in as 3/4-inch hematites. So you can find these on Amazon, or not Amazon, but eBay. And ordered a bunch of them through there. If you're tying this and you're using like 1 1/8 or larger, something that's 1 1/8 or larger in here, you can do a 3-pass Turk's head, and it'll cover over everything a little better here. So now I'm going to go back the other way, tightening up the yellow. I haven't quite pulled this completely down snug yet. Just because if I do it too fast, then my hematite's going to stick out one side more than the other. It's not going to stay centered in. So you got to have a little patience here and just take your time. This is still loose enough that I can push it back and forth in there. I'm going to tighten up this up some more, probably make 2 more passes at it to get it nice and snug where I want it. And then I'll come back, I'm going to use some super glue and just kind of open these up in a couple of spots. Put a little super glue in it, push it down together to hold it in place. So when I get to that point, I'll be back and show you what I do there, and we'll continue on. Alright, so I've got that snug down really good on there. If I don't use any super glue on this, and you're swinging this around and hitting stuff with it, it will pop out of there. So, I'm going to take my super glue, I'm going to come in here, kind of open that up a little bit right there. Super glue right there. And give this about 1/4 of a turn. Let's put that right here. Quarter of a turn. One last spot right up here. Now, because this is going from nylon to a hard, smooth surface, we need to let this set up for a little bit. So I'm going to set that up, let that set up for about 10 or 15 minutes will be good. So we'll come back to it then. All right, so we're going to get started on this keychain. And the first thing we need is something to tie our monkey's fist around. So right here, I've got this 3.5 inch steel iron ore crusher. And we're going to be using this to tie our monkey's fist around, in a way. So what they do with these, when they mine the iron ore out of the mountain, they use these in a machine that crushes the iron ore down before they smelt the iron ore. I ended up getting a whole bunch of these. This is the size they are after they're done using them. So they are 1 inch, almost perfectly. So I picked up a bunch of these. It's steel. Here's a hematite, magnetic. Okay. So this is what we're actually going to use to tie our monkey's fist around. Just thought I'd have a little fun with that. Of course, we're going to need our scissors, our knotter's bit, a pair of pliers, our lighter, steel rod for tying our gacho fan knot. Well, I use a steel rod. You can use a wood dowel, steel rod. I just happen to have this in my shop, and so that's what I use. As you can see, it is 12 inches to 12 to 24. It's 12 inches long. So that's what you want, is that 12-inch length. I've got my 3 different sizes of fids here, and I've got my monkey's fist jig. Now, if I'm tying the monkey's fist on anything that is smaller than a 1 inch, I just use my fingers and wrap my cord around and do that way. This 1 inch, we're going to use this. Now, of course, we're going to need our cord. So for this particular project, I've got 2 different colors here, each 10 feet long, and then I've melded them together. Okay. And then I have another 5 foot length of this tan that I'm going to use. So this is an acid brown, and this one is a chocolate brown with cream, I think they call it helix or something like that, pattern on it. So we're going to get started on this. I'm going to get my lacing fid set up here. Now you see I've got 2 different lengths of lacing fid here. And so this is a stainless steel one that you order. Any Paracord supplier has these, or you can get them off Amazon. And you can actually buy extenders for these that screw into it and make them long. Okay. These, I actually made these. They are actually, they're aluminum. They're knitting needles. I just went down to the local craft store, bought these. I've got a mini lathe down in my shop in my garage. Chucked them up in that, cut them off, drilled the end out, and tapped those with the cap so that they've got threads in them, so that they'll thread onto the cord here. So take this. Now, on a 1 inch monkey's fist, you can get away with a 5 turn on this, so wrapping around 5 times. Alright, so on this, we're actually going to do a 5 turn past monkey's fist. There's 5. Turn, this. At that point, we can pull that off. So I'm going to jig aside. Continue my passes here. I'm not pulling these tight, because as I snug these down, I want to be able to come back in and just get everything lined up so that they'll sit nice and neat. There, or there, so yes, we need get that through right there. Now, I've got 3 of the acid brown here, and only 2 of this multi-color here. Okay, what I want to do is I want to pull this back through all the way back over to here, so that I'll have 2 of the acid brown here and 3 of the acid brown here. So in order to do that, I have to start clear back here, and I'm going to pull a little bit of this. Shouldn't need too much. As I do this, I am snugging this knot just a little bit. I'm not pulling it super tight yet, because I want to get everything seated in place. See, I've actually ended up getting a lot of cord, a lot of spare cord in this loop. So right here, pull that through. Now, pull this back. About right there. Okay, now you can see I've got 3 of the acid brown and 3 of the multicolor, 2 of the acid brown, 3 of the multicolor, 3 of the acid brown, 2 of the multicolor. So now all I'm going to do is just pull this back through. Still not pulling this all the way down tight yet. Just getting it snug, not doing it. I'm working those so that they all lay flat. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the acid brown. Now, you can see I'm getting a little twist in my cord, so I have to twist the cord as I pull it through, so that it'll lay nice and flat. And just get those twists out so that it looks good here. Right here, I'm going to just take my knotter's bib, work it in here so I can get that cord down. This is why I didn't want to pull it all the way snug, so that I can make the room I need. To get those to lay flat. Alright. So that's our monkey's fist. Everything looks good. Everything's laying flat. Nothing's laying over the top of each other. So now I can take this and I can use my pliers. And when I start pulling this, so right here, I'm going to start right here and I'll give this a little tug here. Actually, I want to go the other way. Pull that over here, pull it right there, there. Okay, so I'm just going to work the rest of my slack out of this. So I'm going to work my chocolate brown out, and then I'll come back over and I'll pull my multicolored cord out the other way so that my knot's good and tight. When I feel it right now, it's soft. When it's done, it's going to feel hard. So you can hear how dead that is. When I get done, I'll come back and I'll do that again, and you'll hear it has more of a solid hit when it does that. All right, I've got that all tightened down. You can hear the difference when I drop that. Okay, I was able to keep everything looking good. So pull this off. This fit case right here I got off Amazon. It is just a cigar holder. And I just tied a couple of knots on it to dress it up a little bit there. This is another fit holder, and this one actually comes in a kit with a bunch of different fibs also. But this is what's called, this is another knotter's tool. It's got the spike on the end to help pick knots out and gnarl in so that when you're melting cord, you can run it over the cord and smash it down with that. So from here, okay, we're going to tie a series of snake knots. So snake knot, I'm going to take the left-hand cord, go over the right-hand cord, around behind everything, and just kind of pinch it right there behind that monkey's fist. Now I'm going to take this right-hand cord, I'm going to pull it around behind, I'm going to take the end, I'm going to go down through the cord. Okay, I'm not going to go through the center in between everything. I want to go over the top of everything and under that last one. Okay, through, tighten everything down. Now when I do this, I'm trying to get this as close to that center point as I can right there. Okay, so I'm going to tie 4 of these. So again, left side over the right, around behind, right one, around and back down through. Okay, just like that. Now, you're going to need some sort of a clasp. I like using these lobster claws. I've got these black ones, I've got some silver ones, and I actually have some brass looking ones also. Now, the next knot I'm going to tie is a diamond knot. Okay, so I run those cords through my fingers, push that out away from me, giving me some length here. Okay, I'm going to take the right hand cord here, I'm going to flip the loop in it. When I do that, okay, I'm not flipping a loop like this where it's coming back over and crossing over itself here. I want to flip it over and then lay that over the top of that other cord coming between my fingers. So see, this cord is trapped by it now. Okay, take that cord, go underneath this end right here, where it comes through my fingers. I want to go past that, and then I'm going to go over the top, and go underneath itself, through the center, and back over the top. Okay. One's another loop. There's our diamond shape in this knot right there. Okay. Now, take this left cord again. I'm going to go underneath this cord again. I'm going to go past where it's coming into the knot from the underside. I'm going to go past it. I'm going to come up through the center. Okay. Now the right hand cord is going to come around. This is where our cord's coming into the knot. We go past it, underneath everything, and up through the center. Okay, now I take my thumb and stick in this knot, and I'm just going to pull it snug on my finger, or now like this. That's going to leave me an opening in this knot to pass these cords back down through. What I'm going to do pass that through, down through, and back out the other side there, the knot. And now, same thing for the other cord. Back down. Now what I'm going to do is just, I need to get a hold of these two cords here, get a hold of this here, and I'm just going to pull it like that. Okay? Shorten this up a little bit. I don't want to pull it all the way down tight yet. Now, to get our length on this, that's why I like using this 12-inch rod right here. Because when I'm tightening this knot up, take this cord right here, comes into my knot, and it's this one right here. Get a hold of it. Pull it through. Now, take my metal rod here, Stick it against the bottom of the knot. Pull that. Ellen right there. Now I've got 12 inches right there. Okay. All I'm going to do is continue pulling this cord through and then pulling it down tight. Okay. Now you can see our acid ground is really loose there. Got a lot of excess in it. So all we have to do on that one now, grab it where it's coming up through the knot first. Pull that through a bit. And then just pull this down. Okay. Now we've got our length set right there. So we'll come through this knot. Now we can pull these down. Snug. Okay. Well, that's got our diamond knot. Our length is all set where we want it. For this next step, we're going to need 2 rubber bands. Yeah, we'll use those. Okay. I'm going to take my steel rod, stick it up here, rubber band. You know what? I'm not going to use that rubber band. It's too much rubber band. Use those two. That one just broke. I do break a lot of rubber bands doing this, so they work a few times and then okay, so this down here, this, and then secure this end to the rod. Alright. Now, back here, you've got a cord on the left, a cord on the right. I'm going to take the right cord, coil it up. Okay, that's out of our way. Take our long lacing fid. Okay. Now we're going to tie a gaucho fan knot. This is a gaucho fan knot. Okay. So the cord's going to make 4 complete passes before we tuck it back down through the center. We're doing that with each color plus our smaller accent cord. So when you're tying this knot, it is basically just tying a long Turk's head knot. So we're going to wrap around our cord here 5 times. Okay, so and I don't want to do this like 1, 2, 3. See, I've started coming back around and then I'm going 1. What I want to do is rotate this a little bit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm not pulling this super tight, barely just snug right now. Okay. I find it's actually easier for me if I switch hands for this next one. Go over. Now you can see the X pattern showing up here. Okay. Switch hands again. Place. You want to keep these as lined up as possible. Back down. Now, at this point, this is where we start our over-unders now as we come back up through this knot. So we're going to go under 1 and over 1. So go under that one. So we're following this back up to the top, but we're doing the opposite of what that cord does. So when it goes under, we're going over. And when it goes over, we're going under. It's really important here that you keep your twists out of your cord. Because when you start tightening this knot, if you have a twist in your cord, then you have to work that twist all the way through your cord to the end again, because you're pulling this knot tight. Over, under. Under. That one under that one. Okay, now, when we come out of the knot, we're going over this one. Okay. We're going to take this, we go over. I'm actually going to bring it underneath. So underneath itself right here again one last time. I'm going to come over here to the far side, come across, and I'm going over these two cords that are our core. And this is why I like these long lacing threads. Sure, as you're tying this knot and you're using your bids, you're not stabbing through your paracord. Okay, making little snags in it or catching it. Okay, so right here, we're underneath this right now, but as I pull this down, you can watch that come around. And I just want it to fall like that. Okay, so now it's going underneath all this down through the cord, but it's staying on the far side of the cord away from me. Okay, but up here, you can see how we're laying right here. This is what we want. Okay. Grab the cord here. Now, just like a Turk's head knot, you're doing a 2-pass Turk's head knot. All you would do is come in here and just follow. Just following this cord on the right, all the way down through our knot to the other end. Just doing an over one, under one. Okay, now, right here at this point, if we just wanted to do this as a long Turk's head, we would continue following that and work our way way back up and work our way down and work our way back up. But we're going to do a gaucho fan knot. So we're going over that one. Now we're going to go underneath that one and just follow down and come out the bottom of the knot. Okay. Now, coming out of the knot right here with an under, we're going to follow this one right here. Where it goes under, we're going to go over. So, we're coming back into this knot with over one. We're going to go under one. So we've got a pair of parallel knots, or parallel cords right here. They're side by side. Okay, we're going to go under one right there. So we split those two cords apart. Now, the rest of the way back up to the top of this knot, we're going to go over two, under one. That's the pattern we're going to follow going back. So over two, under one. Over two, under one. Over two, under one. Over two, under one. Over two, so over two, under one. Over two. Now this is where we're up here. Okay, yeah, so we're going to go over these two. This is actually part of our core right here. Come back up here. See, so over these two, under this one, over these two, we're not counting this one right here, it's part of the core, under that one, come out of the knot, over two, okay? So this is the cord we've been following. We've been on the right side of it here. We're coming over the top of it. We're crossing over it. So now we're going to be on the left side. So go over the top of it and then come back in to the knot with an over one, or under one, I mean, sorry, under one here. Now we're going over two, under one. We're going to do that all the way down to the end of our knot here. So, over two, under one. 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 over two, and under one right there. Okay, so over those two, under that one. This one we just went under is the one we were following. We're on the left side of it here. So we came underneath it. So we're going to turn right there and follow it on its left side, or on its right side, I mean. So we're on the left side here. We're going over one, under two. We're on the left side of that cord right there. This is our last pass with this one. And we're just going to, now, so we were over one, under two, and now we're over two, under two. And we're going to do that pattern, over two, under two, all the way back up to the other side of our knot. Over two, under two, 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 now we're back to where it starts getting a little confusing because we're seeing this cord that's traveling in the same direction, but it's part of our core. So we got to remember we're going over these two. Okay. Under two right there. And then we're coming out of the knot with an over two. Okay. Come out of that knot with an over two like that. Now again with this cord, I'm going to go behind those two cords now. So before we just went behind this one cord. Now we're going behind both of them. And over here. Now we can work this cord all the way down through the center of this knot. Over it, run it down through. And now again, like before, this is that last loop right here. And as I pull this down, see it come around, and there it is right there. Okay. Now at this point, you could finish this knot off just the way it is right now. Tighten this up and be done with it and not add any more cord to it. So, but it's just something I've always done. I've always liked. I like adding this. This is 275 cord. I use either this or the 95 cord or 91 cord for kind of an accent cord just to make everything stand out. I'll separate these out a little bit. Makes it look a little bit better in my own personal view. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to come in right here. Run that up through like that. just want to pull it so the end is inside my knot here. Okay, so it's inside right here. It's underneath here. Got 3 good bites on it right here. I want to make sure as I'm pulling this cord through, I don't pull it really hard and end up pulling it out through the top. I'm going to go underneath these 2 right here. Bring it over here. Now, just like before, on our first pass going from the top to the bottom, we are going to follow this cord. What this cord right here does exactly. We're going to be on the left side of it. We're going to do exactly what it does. Where it goes under, we're going to go under. Where it goes over, we're going to go over. So we're starting with an under right here. Pull that through just like that. We can let it disappear underneath here. We don't need it sticking out the top. Okay. And now we just follow this cord. Over 2, under 2. 2, under 2. Again, I'm doing my best to make sure I don't have any twists in this cord here. Now, I'm going to go over these 2, under those 2, and come out the bottom of the knot. Okay. We're following this one right here on the left side. Came underneath it right here. We're going to cross over. We're going to be on the right side of it here. So now here, we're going to go over 2. We're going to go under 2. So we're splitting these 2 parallel cords right here again. We're over 2, under 2, in between those. Now, we're going to go over 3, 1, 2, 3, under 2, 1, 2. Okay? We're just going to follow that pattern all the way up to the top of the knot. So over 3, under 2. 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 Whoops. Under 2. And then we're over 3 coming out of that knot at the top. Okay. So on the right hand side, we cross over the top of it, and back down into the knot. So this is the cord we just followed from the bottom up. We crossed over the top of it. We're on the left hand side again now. We go under 2. And then we go over 3, under 2. 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 And then finally over 3 here and under 2. Now, we've completed 3 of our 4 passes, this color, okay? So, again, we're following this on the left-hand side. We came underneath it here. We're back on the right-hand side again. We came out of the knot with an under, so we're going to come back into it with an over. We're going to go over 2, under 3, okay, and now we're doing an over 3, under 3, all the way back up to the top of the knot. So over 3, under 3, 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 over 3, under and 3, over 3, under 3, and then finally we come out of this knot with an over 3 right here. So your 3 cords you're going over is, of course, itself right here, the tan one, the acid black, it's right there, and then my multicolor cord right here. Okay? Now, I'm not going to run this down through it this time. This knot, as I've added cord to it, has gotten tighter. So what I'm going to do is take it off the rod. Okay, now pass behind those two that are coming into the knot. Now I can take this run it down through the center. Okay. All right. So that's our knot tied. So all we have left to do is to tighten this knot up. I like to do this in stages. If you pull this tight right off the bat, you'll find it twists really, really bad. Okay. Well, the whole thing will start to twist like this. And then your knot's not lined up. Okay. So my first stage when I tighten this up, all I do is slide this up so that it's up against my diamond knot. The only two cords I'm going to pull are these 550 cords. And those can be pulled tight right there where it's coming into the knot. But then, as I work my way through, I don't want to pull hard, but I'm just snugging it up just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to pull these all the way down through, all the way through the knot, tighten it all up so that I've got one pass done through it. As I'm doing this, I want to watch my cords here and make sure they stay in alignment. If they're starting to twist, I want to twist that to get the twist out of it. Okay? I want to keep these as straight as I can. Now, I learned how to watch this knot from Mark, or I learned how to tie this knot by watching Mark's tutorial over at Paracord Guild. Where I made 5 wraps coming down, he's only doing 3 on his. He's doing a little keychain fob. And the way he does that, he actually ties this knot separate from everything else and then slides it on and tightens it down. So instead of just having these 3 cords coming out here, he's got 3 cords that come out the bottom and then 3 that come out the top. It keeps this knot a little more straight, well, a lot more straight up here at the top. You'll find that this can actually twist a little more the way I've tied it here. So I'm going to tighten this up and come back and show you the start of how I do the last pass of my tightening on this. All right, so I've made my full pass through the knot, pulling these 2 cords. You can see how much slack I pull out of them. It's not tight, I just snugged it up, keeping my knot straight here. So what I'm going to do is, excuse me, that round one. Down in. My multicolor now. Pull down in. Okay. All right. Now, this next pass through, we're going to snug up pretty good. And when we do that, we're also going to pull
this smaller cord through and tighten it up. So right here is where we're coming into the knot from the top. We'll rotate this just a little bit. I'm going to follow this cord, wind it over here, give it a pull. That one, pull, get a hold of this one, and I'm going to take that slack up. Okay. Come down. Keep going with it. You just keep pulling those down through, go all the way down, pull it all the way through, and then I'll come back when I get ready to pull these down through the core. All right, I pulled this one a little tight so you can see it twisted on me. I've got one little trick I can try to do to get it to untwist a little bit. Before I do that, I need to take these cords and wrap it around my pliers a little bit. Just pull down really good and tight. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this like this, pull that through, push that up, and just give that a bit of a twist here. So it still has a little bit of a twist in it, but that's our natural band knot right there. Okay, now take these ends, cut off like that, our lodders tool, lodders bit. Just gonna shove those up in. My rolling boards there. Now, this is just neoprene rubber, 1/8 inch. I just used some spray adhesive and stuck it to these boards. That way I can put one down that doesn't slide, and then the other one I can use to roll over. Okay. Small piece of cord, you can throw that away. Use this one first. Cut the other melded end off. Pull the guts out of it. Melting these ends are not necessary. For me, it's easier to work with if it's not fraying out. So, now, I'm going to tie Ranger beads on this. So, these are the Ranger beads I'm tying. These will, you do this so that not only do you have a self-defense keychain, if you're somebody that fidgets a lot, you got a fidget toy. Okay, so do this. I'm going to take my project here, keychain, lay that cord across it like that. Got my index finger right there. Pinch that cord there, come around behind, and cross over right here in front. Okay? Then you're going to come back around behind. So you're doing that. Around here to the front, and pull this down a little bit. And this goes through. You just pull it like that. Okay. Now, this is going underneath right here, so it's going to have to go over the top. So what we want to do when we cross these two over right here is this one up here towards the tip of my thumb is going to go over the top of the other one. Now I can take this cord, it's going to go over the top of this one, down through the center, and out the other side of the knot. Okay. Now this tail sticking up right here, we're going to cross over the top of this one right here, and we're going to go through the center of the knot and out the other side. Okay. Now I can take this and I can pull that a little snug right there, snug it up with this one here, and pull those down through. Okay. Now, loose. Pull that one through like that. Okay, now take my pliers. So this short tail right here comes up through right here, underneath right there, and I'm going to get a hold of it right here. Now I'm holding it with my left hand here, taking my pliers, and I'm pulling that through good and tight. And I'm just going to follow this all the way through the knot. Right there. Okay. Now it's pretty good and tight on there. My scissors. Cut off. I don't want to cut it right down tight, but I don't want a whole lot sticking out. Melt that. And press down in. Now when I press it in, I'm pulling it away from these two strands right here so that it doesn't melt into them. You want that to be able to slide. Okay, and that's a ranger bead. Okay, so I'm going to tie one more out of this, and then I'm going to tie two here so that they're staggered. So there's 4 ranger beads on here. All right, so there are 2 self-defense keychains. One with a monkey's fist, and one with the Turk's head around the hematite. So have fun with your knots.